Guys, hello and welcome back to the channel. So today it's going to be a short video on like tips and tricks to improve your sniping. Now I am not a very good sniper. Sometimes I do good, but most of the time I'm not. So I'm going to give you some tips. So first of all, you're going to want to think about how you want to snipe. Do you want to snipe like aggressive or passive? So basically what you're gonna want to do if you want to play passive is you're probably gonna be that guy who camps in the back. Now I'm not saying that you're bad, but I'm just saying that you're gonna be pretty annoying. But whatever, it's codm and everyone is annoying these days. So I don't got anything against you guys who stand back, because it's actually a pretty good way of sniping. But if you want to be aggressive and close up, then you're in luck, because I'm pretty good at quick scoping. So for example, let's go to the targets right here. Now these aren't of course like real targets, but I'm going to do some practice on them. So you're going to think about what you want to snipe. So from far away, it's gonna be pretty hard because your targets are smaller, and therefore when you're up close, it's easier to hit them because they're a bigger target and you don't have to move your scope as much. But with this, if they make just a slight movement, you have to move it like a little bit and not a lot. So with this, you're with longer targets, you're gonna end up like going more. But if you have like your sensitivity options, that can work for you if you want to play passive. So I have my sensitivity, so it's like so it's aggressive, but sometimes I do want to be passive, so I put it up like at the 70s, so I can actually aim. Sometimes you will miss your shots, but that's fine, because with practice means perfect. What is the saying? Practice makes perfect. Okay. I got confused a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is, the next tip is, you want to know where your opponent is heading. So you see him like from that far away, but you don't know where he's going. So you're going to want to have to practice where you predict he's going to go. So if he's strafing, he's probably going to be like this, where he's just standing side to side. So you're going to want to aim. You're going to take a few hits, but when he comes back to where you're aiming, which is the way you originally found him as. So like for example, if he was standing right here and he's strafing like left to right, you're going to want to wait until he goes right here, and then you can shoot him, and then eventually he'll die. Now, of course, hit markers are a problem too, like that right there. But, you know, you might get lucky and get a collab. Now, I find that FMJ also works well with this. So, it also depends on your gunsmith attachments. Because, most snipers literally have infinite, range, so you're not going to use the barrels unless you're going for ADS bullet spread accuracy. But still, snipers are pretty good without anything increasing the bullet spread accuracy, so it's not too bad. So let's see, for example, I shoot over there. It's also because the scope slightly sways, so you're going to want to control that. But if you're moving side to side and moving your scope around, then it is going to be easier to control, but it is going to be harder to hit your opponent. So it's important to find where your enemy is going and then take your shot. So you predict he's coming like this way, and you're going to want to shoot him, and then he dies. Now these targets are actually stronger than your opponents, so it's always going to be one tap to the body. Yeah, so you're also going to want to take note of the damage models. Now, for things like the kilo it's more of like a it's easier at medium range, but it can be at long range. It depends on what you're using. If you're using like a DLQ, it can be very aggressive. But if you use something like a kilo, then it's still going to be aggressive, but not as aggressive because it's not very good at quick scoping. It's very slow. As you can see here, it takes a long time to scope in, but also if you level up your weapons, you're gonna be able to hit them. So next, you're gonna wanna know. Take note of your ammo as well, because that's gonna come in handy when you actually need to shoot somebody and kill them. All right, so. What was I saying? So it also depends on your gunsmith attachments. Like, quick scoping is very easy for me. But of course, it depends on if you're thumbs or your claw players. Because with claw players, you can easily hit like a button like this. Now I'm trying to use my index finger and my. See, you can do dark scopes like that, but with thumbs, you're gonna have, sometimes you can press the ADS button and then manually press the fire button, but also you have this ADS button, this tap and hold ADS button. So you're gonna wanna know when to press and when to release. So, sometimes you're in a sticky situation and you have to quick scope. Now, with claw players, it's not so bad because you can do dark scopes. Now, I'm not an expert at dark scope, but you can do that if you want to. So, with thumbs players, it can't be as easy because you have to wait till it to actually scope in. So, imagine you're trying to fire, but then it scopes out. So you're gonna want to for about I would say like 400 milliseconds, which is almost half a second. You're gonna want to wait, and then until it's almost scoped in, and you can see your opponent. Of course, of course, dark scope, but you can't do that with tap and hold ADS. So you're gonna want to find where that enemy is. You're gonna wait until the scope, you can actually see him through the scope for a little bit, and you're gonna fire, and then you're gonna get that kill. So yeah, that's something very special. The next thing you want to know is your sniping skill. Now, if you're not very good at aiming, you might do not as good with snipers as you would, like if you're actually good at aiming. Because with snipers, you have to be precise on where you fire. With SMGs, like anything automatic, shotguns, shotguns are very similar to snipers. They're just close range kind of snipers. So snipers are like, well, long range shotguns because they do a lot of damage from long range. So it can be very deadly in the hands of a good sniper. So you're also going to want to work on your movement. So of course you can drop shot like this, but it's also going to be very hard because you're going to have to track where your enemy is. With SMGs, like anything automatic, when you're drop shotting, you can just shoot like right this. So for example, if I have an HVK, I can just drop shot like this, and it's going to be easy. But with snipers, it's going to be hard because you have to wait. You have to wait for the scope to scope in, and you're going to have to do that. So you're not always going to know where your surroundings are. Also, you can end up sniping too high or too low, getting a hit marker or not even a hit at all, and then end up dying. So it's important to work on your movement and do it like you normally would, except when you're firing, just stand still for a bit, take your shot, and then move again. Just move, because if you're using like a Locust, DLQ, Arctic 50, Outlaw, you're gonna have to wait for it to scope out the chamber around like that, and then you have to scope in again. So it's important to move. You have to move to actually survive, because with snipers, if you're not a very good sniper, then you're not gonna survive as long. So you're gonna want to move. That is important in order to become a good sniper. So you're gonna want to have to adapt to firing while you're. So once you want to take your shot, you find your enemy. You want to target. So fire, take your shot, and then you get a hit marker. You don't hit. You miss. And you gotta move. If you're reloading, it's important to move too. Of course, you're not gonna move as fast, but you're gonna want to take cover. So imagine I'm in the open, and then I run at it. So I fire all my rounds. I'm moving, and then I'm out of ammo. So I quickly. So if you can't get all those, if you can't reload fast, then you're gonna want to switch your secondary. Kind of do that, because if you have a pistol, it's gonna be easy because you also have a weapon to shoot if he's far away from you. But also if you're trying to quick scope and the enemy is right there and he's coming around the corner, you can take out your bat or your melee weapon, and then if he comes around, you can you might actually be lucky and get that melee weapon, that melee button on the right side of the screen, and you might be able to melee him, but that's not always the case. So it all depends on if he's. Of course, you can wallbang with FMJ, but it's not going to be very useful with things like that. So things are very important. So the next thing is wallbanging. So wallbanging, you're just shooting him through a wall, essentially, is what that means. So anything, if he's taking cover and you can see his head, normally with automatic weapons, you'd be able to just fire on him if he's taking cover from you. But with snipers, it can't do the same thing, just not as well. Now, it can penetrate through very light surfaces, but anything other than light surfaces like a wood, that's going to be very hard to shoot through. So it's important to have your gunsmith attachments as well if you want to play passive or aggressive. And if you want to be daring, then you can use the regular scope or the 6x scope. Now, most of you will probably rock the 6x scope. The ones that are like the default scope, but just a little bit faster. Now, I like to use the default scope because it is very good. It doesn't, like, the 6x scope, it doesn't take away a lot of ADS speed. It doesn't take away a lot of time to ADS. It just does that just so it can, like, it probably reduces it by like 50 milliseconds, so it's not pretty good, but still, you can use it if you want. Now, of course, those of you who are pretty bad at sniping and you wanna play aggressive but you can't, you might want to rock the tactical scope on your sniper. Now, there is types of tactical scopes, but you can use the regular one. You can use the VLK3 optic. Now, if you don't know what that is, I'll show you. Okay, so I just showed you the VLK optic, or what I mean, because that's what it's called in Modern Warfare, so I decided to use it. Okay, so you're gonna wanna so improve your aim while moving, because not a lot of times are you gonna survive while taking cover, so it's important to move. Okay, so yeah, so with co-op players, it is gonna be easier because you know you can dark scope, you can hard scope easier. Of course, I'm a thumbs player because I can't do four finger claw or anything like that because I play on a phone right now, but I literally cannot play with four fingers because I'm a kid, so my fingers are small, so I can't really reach anything. But still, there are kids out there who can play with four fingers, but I'm not one of them because I am absolutely terrible at claw. But if you can use claws, then it's gonna be easier, much more easier than that. It also depends on your sensitivity. So if you have a super fast sensitivity, it might be harder to hit, but if you have a slower sensitivity, it also might take a long time to drag it. But same with like looking down and giving you more vision. It's gonna be harder because you're gonna take a long time to ADS and then look up. So that's gonna be your demise. So for example, compare this. So I'm walking and then I'm looking at the top of my screen for any enemies. So then I find one. Okay. So I'm walking like this. I'm walking like this. I find one, and I find one. See right there, the Reaper. So I go with my scope, but it takes a really long time to scope up, and also you might actually run out of speed too. You might run out of space to actually scope up. So first, you can't be lucky when every once in a while, but it's not a very good tactic to do. Now, if you, of course, every good player knows about this, but you're gonna want to look up so you can find any enemy. Of course, it's not gonna give you as much vision as this, because. So I look down and then I can see a little bit more, but of course it's looking so like for drop shotters or anything, like if it's more than 2 floors or 1 floor, then you're gonna look down. But it's important to keep your head up because a lot of people who are bad at sniping or this game in general actually just look down. So remember to look up and keep your head up. Be aware. Yeah, so every once in a while you can go flank and kill the enemy. So yeah. Okay, what else? So just practice and then you'll become a very good sniper. With enough practice, you can become a very good sniper. With thumbs or without. With thumbs or with claw, no matter what, you can become a good sniper. I believe in all of you that you can become a good sniper. Because if you're watching this and you're very bad at sniping, I'm trying not to say that you're bad at sniping, like trying to call you out for it, but I'm just saying, if you think you're a bad sniper and you want to become a good sniper, then take some of these tips and try to implement it into your experience, because you never know, it might save your life. Because if you're in a sticky situation and you go up against Kimble Phoenix, HVKs or anything like that. Ooh, what's this? Well, if you come up with anything like that, I actually never found that before. So apparently the time limit in there is 20 minutes. So anyway, yeah, so I believe in all of you. If you think you're a bad sniper and you want to try and become a good sniper, then just take these tips and just try to remember them as good as you can. Of course, you're not going to be able to remember everything, but just remember the ones that you think you can improve on. Because I personally, I take tips for myself and I try to put it into my gaming, and I try to do whatever I can to become better at anything, and try to make it easier for yourself. Now, it's also important not to get tilted because of course, everybody gets tilted. It doesn't matter if you're positive or not. You're always gonna get tilted in your life. Now, you're always gonna get tilted in your life when you're playing a game. It doesn't matter who you are. You're just gonna get tilted. But when you do, just remember that if you got like a quad kill, if you like got a triple kill or a 3-piece, a 5-man or anything like that, and you have that final guy that you can get to kill, to get that that 6-piece, or the, I don't know what you call it, but I'm just gonna go 6-piece. But if you want to, so you see that one guy to get that final kill, like that 5-man. Sorry, 6-piece? What the heck am I saying? Well, anyway, if you have that final guy that you want to get the 5-man on, and he kills you, you might get really tilted. And I understand, because I've done it so many times before, and I feel like I want to freaking just snap my phone in half. But it's important to stay positive, because just focus on the good things. Like, if you got killed by that last guy you were gonna get that 5-man on, think about the previous quad kill you just got. Think about how you can do better. Think about how you can improve. Don't focus on the bad stuff. Don't trash talk your teammates, because that's the most important way of trying not to get tilted. Now, with bad teammates, it's understandable, but you have to put it on yourself to think how you can improve, how you can carry your teammates, how you can win those matches, and importantly, how you want to improve, how you want to play the game, how you want to think about others. Now, a lot of people, if you think you have bad teammates, they're probably just getting into the spirit of COD Mobile again, and they're like, for ranked, if you have bad teammates, they might not know, they might be tilted, or they might like be angry at you. But of course, if you have bad teammates, they're probably just tilted, or they're getting into the spirit of codm again. That's fine. It's normal for everyone to get tilted, especially me, because I got tilted so many times. But it's important to think about how you want to play the game, how you want to improve on yourself to play the game. Now, tilting doesn't just apply to sniping, it also applies to everything in COD Mobile. You might freaking like die to a smoke grenade hitting your foot, and that's gonna freaking make you rage. And I understand that. Everybody understands that. You just have to understand that everything's not always on you. Everything is, it's just, I mean, of course, the game is broken in this state, but still, they're gonna fix it in season 13. If your game, whatever you're playing that you're trying to watch this, maybe like other things other than codm, but this like applies to codm only. So if you want to get better at anything, and you have a tilting problem, it's important to focus on the good things and don't give up on your positivity, because you're probably getting into the spirit of ranked again, and you want to feel that excitement of those close games. You want to feel that excitement, that fun. You want to have fun. That is the purpose of games nowadays. You want to have fun, and that is what's important. Now, this is a long video for sure. This isn't short at all. But I'm just telling you, just focus on the good things and don't let the bad things get you down. So, I hope you take all these tips for yourself, and well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.